Hello, hello. If you're new, welcome. My name is Hayla. If you're not, welcome back. Today's gonna be a story time of my labor and delivery journey, especially because it was during this panoramic, not my word, but I heard it and I liked it. I thought it could be insightful for expecting moms, at least in Canada, and just something I wanted to share considering it's in these times. So it was a kind of a unique experience in that way. I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions or would like to connect about it, feel free to leave me a comment or a DM and I got you. Because this was my first pregnancy, I really wanted to keep it personal and private. So I only even told close family members once I hit 3 months and not many. I started showing at 7 months, so it was harder to hide then, but I didn't post it on social media or anything until I was 8 months. So at the time I was living in Ethiopia and I had a healthy and smooth pregnancy. Everything was fine. I had a great doctor, and the plan was to stay there as long as possible, continue working, but then to travel to Cairo to give birth. And the reason for that is the paperwork process in Ethiopia after your child is born isn't really processed in Ethiopia. It goes to Kenya and it takes a year to a year and a half. There's no exceptions for newborn. And it wasn't in my plan to stay in Ethiopia for that long. So the next best thing was Cairo. I had family there and the embassy there processes paperwork pretty fast. I know my brother's done it and he's gotten everything within 3 weeks span, and that's including a passport and citizenship. At least at that time, our visas, we had the flight booked, we knew where we were gonna stay and what hospital to use. Then, so our flight got canceled and we had to redirect real quick. So honestly, I had no other option but to come back to Canada. And it was a really hard decision to make because that would mean without my husband and on my own really. But it's safety first in these times, so that's the decision that we had to make together. So I cut my ticket to go back to Canada, reconnected with my previous family doctor, and we spent my whole quarantine looking for a gynecologist or someone to help me deliver. So 8 months pregnant, smooth pregnancy, no complications, no anything, on track for a natural birth. Had all my documents, updated blood work, everything that I thought I needed. I don't know why I thought finding a doctor would be easy, because it's so easy in Ethiopia. And I was speaking to my family doctor over the phone ahead of time, and he assured me that we can find someone. Wasn't that easy. Fast forward, getting anxious because I only had 2 weeks left. But through family friends, they referred a person. That person agreed and said she would see me as soon as possible. So we booked an appointment for the day following my 14th day of quarantine. And I didn't even think to pause and look up reviews or anything because I was just so thankful that I found someone that would accept me. Regret. Anyways, listening for the baby's heartbeat, and then she tells me she's concerned. Trigger warning for anyone that's had complications with pregnancies. If you want to pause from here, I completely understand, or click out. She told me I was at risk of having a stillborn and told me I had to decide right then and there if I was gonna allow her to have me induced, meaning give birth earlier. And I asked her how early, and she said that same night. Being induced means they try to further along your delivery and make it happen as soon as possible. Panic mode sunk in. I consulted with my parents, I consulted with my husband, but honestly, when you hear stillborn, there's not much to really consult after that. So we agreed, made an appointment, went that night. She gave us a list of things to prepare for, because once you go into the hospital, you're not allowed to leave your room at all. So one person is allowed with you, and you're not allowed to leave your room for any reason. So if you leave your room at all, you or the person that came in with you, you will automatically be taken outside of the hospital and not allowed. But asked to bring enough food and anything that we needed to last 3 days of not leaving that room. Because she said to prepare in case of any emergencies or in case I had to have a C-section or anything like that. So, terrified, went in the same night to have the process begin of being induced. Was told to go home and made an appointment to come back the following morning, and still there was no progress as they would have liked and I would have liked. Fast forward, I was in labor for 19 hours and still no further along. Who know, -3 centimeters dilated. Negative. I didn't even know you could be a negative dilated. Fast forward to we were reaching hour 21, still in the negatives of dilated. Again, trigger warning. At that point, she said, we're jeopardizing my child's life. So told me I have 30 minutes to decide if I was gonna have a C-section, an emergency C-section. Again, it's like giving you a decision without it actually being a decision, because what do you say to that? Conclusion is I had to have an emergency C-section. I was pumped with so much epidural fluid and whatever else that I could not move for 3 hours after the procedure was done. Like, I was still super numb. Four days after, I was asked to come back to the office, and she removed a stitch that I had. 2 days after that, I had an incident where I fell and it reopened. It took 5 months to heal from that reopening. I'm so thankful to be on the other side of that. I'm so thankful to have the support that I do. I have learned the value of having a gynecologist or doctor that knows your journey, values your experience, and next time I would probably even have a midwife. Deeper appreciation for really good doctors and gynecologists, those who can offer amazing bedside manner, those who don't put you in shock with certain information. The expecting moms, as much as we want to plan and nest and prepare, it's really not in our hands. I wasn't as prepared mentally for the roller coaster that I just talked about. So I would advise you to prepare yourself for any scenario. Allow yourself time to accept anything that comes. I didn't afford myself that. And lastly, postpartum is real and nothing to be ashamed of. So if you made it to the end, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Leave a like or comment to let me know, and see you next time. Bye bye. ما شاء الله تبارك الله.